All right. Welcome, friends.
Hello, friends.
It's way too early in the morning.
It's way too early for this. But this is what we get for staying up late last night watching today's movie
The 30th anniversary.
of Hamlet.
What? That's not what we watched.
Did you not know that The Lion King is Hamlet, but with lions?
What?
Have you heard of Hamlet?
Okay, I'm probably not because I'm thinking of Hamilton.
No, Hamlet, the Shakespeare play.
Oh, yeah, no.
Lion King is based off of Hamlet.
Oh. Yeah, see, we did the Odyssey and Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's freshman stuff. What about the others?
We didn't do anything else.
Okay.
And then I took an African American history literature course from Eastern my senior year. And then my junior year, we still did African American literature.
My junior year we did Hamlet.
And in case you guys are wondering what this thing is moving,
This is our representative of the feline community for this movie,
Percy.
aka Jonelle's cat.
He's got to come with me today.
We needed a third person because Megan's really tired and she's pregnant and needs sleep. And we're doing this way too early.
But how we watched the movie was very cool.
Yes, we did it full because when they released Lion King back into theaters, they didn't have any times that would cooperate with our schedules. AKA, they didn't have any times that weren't at 3 in the afternoon. So we decided to make our own movie theater and do makeshift drive-in movie theater style, where we projected the movie onto Jonelle's garage, and we sat at her driveway, ate s'mores, and had popcorn.
It was awesome.
It really was awesome.
And we used Ghirardelli chocolate for the s'mores.
And we watched the VHS version of Lion King because I have a working VCR.
Oh, I also had two. We could have used mine.
Okay, but people are always shocked when there's a VCR. That's what I'm trying to go for here.
That's fair.
Yeah, we watched it. VCR hooked up to my projector and projected it up to her garage. And I didn't realize you had VCRs, so.
Yes, I had two of them. Hey, we finally got something out of the cat.
We tried to do an interview with him about his thoughts on The Lion King.
Do you want to give us an opinion about Simba? Still nothing.
Cats just don't respond to the press like they used to.
We're definitely not going to hear a roar out of them.
Anyway. No. Where do you want to go with this one? This movie's been existing for 30 years, probably part of our childhood.
How dark to have Mufasa die.
Dude, this is like the scarring of everyone's childhood. I was crying during this run. I was crying as far as I can remember. This wrecks me.
I was like, I knew you were crying. I was not crying, but God, just how terrible. And then, Scar, he's kind of a trash human, trash feline. I was going to say trash human being, but Scar's not a human being. Scar's a cat.
Okay, but what do you mean?
He's a pretty toxic person.
Well, no shit. But it was revealed that
he's just like, you killed your father. You're worthless. Go die off.
Well, you know why? Do you realize how crappy Scar's upbringing probably was? Do you know what his original name was?
No, actually.
Taka. You know what that means? Trash.
No.
His parents named him Trash.
Oof. Percy, you got anything to say about that? You're named after a god.
Demigod.
Still nothing.
So uncooperative. Anyways, no. I think the worst part about Mufasa's death has to do with how great of a relationship you see him and Simba have. Like, even when Simba disobeyed Mufasa and like him and Nala went to the elephant graveyard, he didn't get out of control. Like they were walking in silence. He cooled down and he told Zazu and Nala to go.
They were still able to laugh at the end.
Yeah, they were still able to laugh. They talked it out. He deeply expressed, like with very strong words, of like how disappointed he was in Simba and like the harshness of his actions, but he didn't explode,
Yeah.
which one shows how great of a dad Mufasa is. Like, holy cow.
Something I never got. I think this is one thing that this movie also pointed out. Sorry, I just love giving my cat pets and I want to try and comfort him in this situation. Also, I don't want him to get lost in the wine cellar. But one thing that this movie like really points out is childhood trauma.
Way, way too well. Childhood trauma, daddy issues, sense of identity. Need I go on?
No.
There's a lot that we could unpack here. Like, obviously, the childhood trauma is obvious. Scar manipulated Simba into believing that he was responsible for Mufasa's death.
Also, I kind of wonder, how do you feel about the phrase of Huna Makat? Oh my God.
Hakuna Matata.
Thank you. Wow, I just followed the bloopers.
If you haven't seen the Lion King bloopers, check them out. They're hilarious.
Yeah, and I kind of totally represented one of the blooper scenes. But anyways, the phrase of Hakuna Matata, no worries.
I support the saying. Not in the way it was used in the film, because, like, sometimes stuff is not in your control. Hakuna Matata. There's no point worrying about it. You can't do anything to influence that outcome when something is not in your control. If something is in your control, then you can do things about it. Like the job offer that you're hoping to get after an interview. It's officially out of your control. There's not a lot you can do about it. You can just move on and hope for the best.
I was like, I didn't really like the way that Simba was kind of using Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, they pushed this version of Hakuna Matata where it was who the F cares doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It matters. That's not necessarily true. Because obviously stuff matters. If you can do something to resolve a situation, you should. Not all situations, like you don't want to put yourself in like danger or something. But if there is something that you're worrying about, you shouldn't just say F it.
Yeah.
Like Nala was telling Simba, we're in a crappy situation. You are the one to fix it. Because he is the rightful king. He is the son of Mufasa. But he was like, I don't care. Hakuna Matata. It doesn't matter to me.
But at the same time, I've been watching a lot of like those royalty like TV shows that aren't like they go on historic time periods, but they're definitely like magicified. Anyways, the one that I'm watching right now, the emperor, he doesn't want to be the emperor, even though he was born into it.
And he could always abdicate the throne and stuff like that. He was even brought up in Princess Diaries. I think even in Princess Diaries 1, she didn't have to be the princess. She could resign her title. Simba never really did that.
Yeah.
He ran away, and Scar just told him that he died because Scar ordered the hyenas to kill him. Which, okay, I gotta go on this little tangent. I thought the similarities between that part of Lion King and Hercules are hilarious.
Hi, Percy. You want to say anything?
But like, remember how in Hercules they were like always like if is good. And they were like trying to kill Simba, kill Hercules or
Mhm.
whatever. And they're like, if he makes it out alive, you know.
Oh, shoot. Well, we got cat loose. How else?
There it goes.
And there goes the cat.
Bye, Percy.
We'll pick you up in a minute.
Uh,
At least I don't think there's a way for him to get lost in here.
so maybe behind the couch.
Yeah, we could move that. Well, and there he goes hiding underneath the couch.
Oh, yeah, we could do that easily. Oh, no. Anyway,
Percy.
no, I find it funny how they were like, how like when they go to kill Simba and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, if you come back, we'll kill you. Or he'll die out there anyway. You know? I just like the similarities between that and Hercules. I thought it was funny.
Now I'm just going to be...
Back to play your cat.
Yeah.
Well, you're focusing on the wrong cats here.
That one's cute, though.
Simba's not.
That one's cuter.
The lion.
I can't pet Simba.
No, but you can watch him and Nala get.
Oh, a little frisky. Yeah.
Anyways. I need you here.
I'm sorry. He's so cute. Look at him. This is a horrible episode for me to bring a cat when we need to talk about cats. Like, ideally, it sounds great, but...
Yes, it does.
But also, it sucks. Percy, why have you not given us a meow?
We need your thoughts on Lion King, Percy.
Percy. We're still getting nothing out of this cat.
Why are cats so uncooperative to the press? Anyways. Like... I don't even know where to go. Like, there's a lot we could talk about this movie. I always enjoyed this movie, but it's never one of those ones that, like, makes me so happy, excited, and joy. Like Beauty and the Beast last week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how we were, like, so excited, loving on Belle, loving the song.
I was like, it's a sad one.
But, like, this movie, like, I won't lie, I don't call this a comfort movie.
Yeah, no.
It's a movie I'd go to if I'm, like, in a dark spot and I need an emotional release.
That is one thing that, I mean, obviously, as we mention it with Mufasa dying, but like it does bring out, you know, that dark part of Disney.
Well, it's dark, but it's also like, it's not the worst that they've done.
Yeah.
Like, to me, one of Disney's darkest films is Hunchback.
Hey, you got the cat.
Any words for us? Percy.
I'm surprised Percy's coming up to you, not gonna lie.
Nothing? Okay. Well,
He might sit in between us.
I mean, yeah, Mufasa's death was pretty graphic, pretty intense, soundtrack-wise. Like, the music built so much tension, and the way they paired that with the crazy transitions of, like, Mufasa falling, and then, like, you see, like, it zooms out from Simba's eye, to, like, those intense transitions with, like, this tension building with the music, where it has a lot of dissonance, and it just builds and builds from when the stampede first starts. It's horrific. Like, that's a traumatizing experience even for a child. I remember my sister going to a sleepover and they watched this movie and she had to come home because of it. Because, like, they made it pretty intense.
Yeah. Also, like, how sad to watch Scar hold the...
Like, hold on his claws. And literally, like, in one fell swoop, reveal his intentions. Mufasa knew. You could see in his eyes immediately what was about to happen. I understand how that happened. What bothers me is how Mufasa was able to run in the stampede trying to save Simba and get hit and not have issues. But this time, have issues.
Aw, hey, Percy.
Hi, friend.
You want to sit with us? Oh, shoot.
You know, like, I understand how it happened, of course, but I'm like, but he just did that. He was just in the stampede.
Yeah.
And cats always land on their feet. Guess
Yeah.
not. And I think part of like what ruined the imagery a little bit more is that when all the smoke clears, and you see Mufasa down. We know what happened,
Mhm.
but you realize that he was under the tree.
That Simba was.
Like, to me, like, that was a weird form of imagery of, like, he died where he saved Simba.
I was also kind of like thinking back on like when he was. Also, I'm very proud of my boy right now. But I was just kind of like thinking back on the part where like Simba, or not Simba, but Mufasa was running through the stampede just fine, you know? And like he got hit by like the very tail end of it, you know? And it was just kind of like, how could he not like have necessarily like bobbed and weave?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Percy, I don't want you tripping on cords, dude.
Yeah, and obviously we know why they wanted it to happen and everything else.
Hey, okay, I'm going to put him back in the bag. Sorry, it's going to be a little awkward.
We'll give you a moment.
Percy hates the bag.
But we had to have him in the bag.
For this reason.
To be clear, the reason that Percy's here in the bag is because Janelle has to go on a mini road trip and needs to bring Percy with her. So
Yeah. Shit.
okay.
All right. Cat got to explore.
Yeah.
Still no words.
But I couldn't like. I didn't think I was gonna cry over Mufasa's death this time because I've seen it
So many times.
so many times and I expected. But I think what hit really hard this time is because Megan is pregnant and I have a son coming, and that imagery of like
Do you need an emotional support, Cat?
that imagery of like, Dad, wake up! Come on, Dad, wake up!
That is like honestly like
And like him like going up to his arm and everything, like, and seeing the relationship they had. Like, I want to have that kind of relationship with my son, where my son just like I'm like we're like so close. We have fun, roughhouse. We can have these in like soft-hearted, tender moments like we've also had, talking about the stars and everything. But still like remain playful and everything, and be that person that my son can look up to.
mhm.
And to see that ripped away from Simba, I honestly don't want my son to ever have to go through something like that because that's horrible. Like, that's terrible on so many fronts. Both for it would be for him, it would be for Megan, for anyone really. Like, you'd be pissed if something were to happen to me and stuff. But like, it really brought that out of like, I want to be there for my son in every way, and I do not want to be taken away from him. You know,
I mean,
you have separate issues on that one.
yeah. I mean, I never got to meet my father, and he's dead now. And I always wanted the opportunity to meet him because it's not like my growing up situation with my parents was any better. And so like, and I knew it probably was never going to be better with my father anyways, but Jesus, Percy. Um, but it was the opportunity, you know, that like maybe something could be better with my father. You know, maybe if he actually cared. And hi. Um, yeah. But I mean, he never cared for me. I never got that opportunity. And so I literally have to go Hakuna Matata on that situation
Yeah,
because there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I've grieved my father.
through the possibility.
Yeah, it was more of just grieving the the dreams and the make like, you know, the fantasy, the idea.
Well, and I think so. Like, I remember. Well, so this is a weird tangent because me and Megan recently have just finished watching How I Met Your Mother, all 9 seasons. They did the mom dirty. But there is this part where Robin learns that she can't have kids, and it devastates her. And she was always like not, and she never wanted kids. That was her whole thing. And it brought up this idea of like you can still grieve. Like it's one thing to not want something but still have the possibility. You can always change your mind. But then as soon as it's gone, it's gone.
And unfortunately, like kind of going with that, in today's society, a lot of women are going through that now where infertility issues are a big issue. And I mean, I'm one of them. I have infertility issues, and I kind of understand, that like if I wanted to have children, it's going to take a lot of effort, probably IVF, but also at the moment, I don't want children. But I also understand that, like, because of my infertility issues that I have, that opportunity could be taken away. So, like, I kind of have to come to acceptance of, I need to be content with no child or a child. And then, of course, people always say that there's adoption, and luckily Megan's not here. I don't know if this would affect Megan though, but like, yes, adoption is great.
It's really expensive.
It's expensive, but also, it to some families, it's kind of disheartening when they've been trying for years to make their own child, because we have that kind of like traditionalism of wanting to carry down your own line.
And obviously, like, if you really like want kids and everything, obviously adoption's gonna be worth it. Spending the money's always gonna be worth it for kids. You spend a crap ton of money on them if you give birth to them, you spend a crap ton of money if you adopt them, no matter what. But it's one of those things where it's like that's a whole nother level. Like me and Megan had to have a lot of sit down talks about it because she's adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah, made that very clear on this show. But um her preference when we first met was she actually used to be terrified of pregnancy.
Yeah, I remember, like, this is kind of like one of the things when you guys were talking about, like, if you ever wanted children, for a while you guys were really considering adoption because of that reason. I mean, I don't blame Megan. Like, one of the reasons I don't want children right now is because pregnancy kind of is terrifying. And it's not like the actual part of like me thinking about carrying a child, it's the part of giving birth that terrifies me.
That is completely fair.
And I'm sure Megan is really like been stressing out on that.
She's actually been a lot more comfortable. Because the big thing is just like Megan, she never had a positive role models about it. Her mom wasn't able to give birth at all. And she wasn't really around her extended family's pregnancies for like her cousins and stuff. So she's only ever heard, oh, pregnancy hurts. Labor sucks. You're in so much pain. Like it's all these negative connotations versus like a lot of the positive stuff.
I mean, and that's how I feel about pregnancy. It's just kind of like, because with my mom, she was just like, yeah, I almost died when I had you. And then my sister was born early and there was a lot of complications. And so it's just kind of like, but also, going back to the Lion King, but I kind of want to point out, why do we not see cubs, like more cubs from the parents? Because normally,
that someone correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall from my many years worth of doing projects on lions in school, I believe a pack of lions typically only has one male.
I thought, that lions, when they have kids, they have like multiple,
I'm not
like
sure.
litters. Do
Probably. I also think that just wasn't in the budget.
Yes, lions typically litter 1 to 6 cubs every 2 years. And the
gestation
is 3.5 months.
Mm.
Hey, we finally got something out of the cat. You want to speak again? Yes.
I hope you guys heard that. But at that point, I really just think it's not in the budget because if you figure Simba leaves and stuff, but when we come back and Nala's an adult,
Mhm.
a crap ton of other lionesses. There's a high chance they were all cubs at the same time as them, but we just never saw them.
Yeah.
There's no way that Nala and Simba were the only cubs.
Yeah. And considering how
Yeah. Well, especially not since, like, in Lion King 2, which I say it's just because I've seen it so many times. Like, you see Kovu, who's a cub, Nala, a couple other cubs and stuff as well. Teenage Lion, that guy's weird. But, so they have, it's just whether or not it's pertinent in the budget.
that's fair. Got anything about to say about cups? He said something again. We're finally getting a more talkative cat during this interview.
We want to talk about the intimate scene.
They fucking.
There, I think you feel the love scene. I don't know how you cannot look at that and like look at that scene where Simba fights Nala, and you go like it cuts away for a reason. She get like
They're looking, and it was pretty awkward because me and Sean were sitting next to each other because Megan was in a cocoon.
Yeah.
And I have like this couch type of like chair for camping. Anyways, we were like pretty close, and it was just like because Nala was on the bottom. She's looking at Simba. And yeah. And then Simba's like, And they're like, And then they like
start to like muffle and it cuts away.
And we know they're fucking. Ain't no doubt about it. And then at the end, a new heir has been born. So it's clear what happened in that scene. It is very clear. I was trying to break the
parents. We're sorry.
I mean, I don't think my family.
But
I was trying to like make it a little like jokester during the movie too, because I was
oh, we were both trying to make jokes.
Yeah, during that whole scene while they're like, "Can you feel the love tonight?" I'm like, "Oh hey, want to see my splash? I'm nice and wet."
No, we're not. We gotta. We're losing our rating here.
Sorry, people, but also, yeah, that was just trying to help break the tension of how awkward that scene was.
Yep.
For our friendship.
I don't know about you. What are your thoughts on Ghost Mufasa?
I like Ghost Mufasa.
I think that scene is scarily powerful. Like James Earl Jones played Mufasa so well. Like I think about seeing that scene or the happily ever after fireworks show at Walt Disney World and how they use that scene and stuff in happily ever after, and it's just such a powerful scene. I mean, that deep and bass voice combined with the accompanying soundtrack. Oh, it's a weird experience.
I just find it really cool, like looking at him in the sky. Because I mean, like, I don't know about you, but like my family always used to be like when sun goes through the clouds, that's angels falling down on earth. And so like when I like if I look at the sky and I'm looking at things like that, I'm typically like looking at pictures and like looking for like inspirational things in clouds, which is, sounds kind of stupid, but I like to think of, my religion and, that God is like trying to bring a purpose through whatever you are symbolizing. Sounds really stupid, but sounds a bit hippy dippy-ish.
Well, it's your faith. So.
I don't know. It just gives me like a weird sense of clarity, that God's with us.
Well, there's something just so peaceful when you see the sky, the clouds, the stars.
You got anything about clouds you want to say? He just wants to escape.
We can't let things.
No, you did it once.
But like, there's something when you're, I would like, especially if you're like away from like the city, and like that day we got to see the Northern Lights and stuff. There's just something very surreal about seeing the stars, seeing the clouds, and it puts you in this weird mind space.
It puts you in a trance. Like, honestly, you don't need to be on drugs to go on a trance, people. If you want to experience, similar effects of what it's like to be high, stare at the clouds.
Pray to the goddess of shrooms. Sorry, that's our favorite running joke on the show. If you don't know what that's from, check out the Hercules episode.
Yeah, or just check out the short.
That too. Yeah. What's another fun fact? Be Prepared has 2 singing voices in it.
Huh.
Jeremy Irons, the voice of Scar, started off, but he ended up partway through recording, like unable to finish singing the song. So they actually had the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh wow!
Finish it.
Huh. That's interesting.
I bet you didn't notice at all.
No, I did not. Sorry, I'm also just paying attention to how he wants to get out. So when I was like 5, me and my cousins went to Lion King the musical.
Oh my god, that was Megan and I's first date.
I forget about that.
Yeah, me and Megan's first date was seeing the Lion King Broadway musical when it was.
It's awesome. Because there's like the gazelle running down the aisles.
The way they animate the animals is so majestic.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I really prefer the musical over the movie. And maybe that's just because, it's like a core memory put in my head and it's just like so cool.
Nice Inside Out reference.
You're welcome.
But no, like, I like the performances. I think I do prefer the animated. Like, I do prefer the animated movie. But I love the performance of the musical. Like the way they're able to move move as animals is so cool, and everything. Some of the effects like the stampede scene.
The makeup.
The makeup is so amazing.
Yeah.
And the musicians that accompany it.
Oh my gosh.
I love it so much. But I think I do prefer the regular like animated Lion King. Hi, friend.
You want to say anything?
Okay, well, that you can study. But, did you like my joke when we were watching Be Prepared and how I was like, go Nazis?
I noticed you said that, but I honestly wasn't paying too much attention because there was like a lot also kind of going on with how we were watching the movie. So we were watching in my driveway, obviously, and my neighbors have a good habit of, I don't know why.
Constantly driving in and out of the house with different cars.
Yeah.
Like
you see my issue that I have now?
I think I saw 4 different cars
just in one house.
And well, me and Janelle were kind of hoping that some people would see it and like try to like join in.
Yeah, we did get some kids jealous.
I mean, we were watching literally like a driving movie on a projector in your driveway. It was great.
Yeah.
I grew up with the driving theater next to my grandma's house, and it's still there. It's very successful, but it's just so cool, you know?
Yeah.
Pulling up in your car, being able to just watch movies on a giant screen and stuff. Like, I wish we had. I feel like if I were to start a drive-in movie here, movie theater business, I think it'd be very successful,
I
especially in the summertime.
I kind of question it a little bit because I mean, movie theaters in general are like not on the hottest incline anymore, especially with all streaming services. I think it would be like kind of like one of those one hit wonder stores, you know, like it'll have a good peak for a little bit because people are like, oh my God, it's new, it's something to do other than this, you know, it'll be, but if it was to be something momentous that would be long going, we would have to really figure out a way to innovate the drive-in movie experience that would accelerate it from its original purpose.
Well, let me tell you about the one that's by my grandma's old house. That's still going to this day. It's a drive-in movie theater. You pay once to get in, and then they show like two movies a night, so you get to see both movies.
Mhm.
You're able to camp there overnight, so you don't have to worry about trying to drive home. They have a go-kart track and a full arcade.
Well, that's awesome.
Like, think about our child gambling levels of arcade.
In case you don't know what child gambling is, just think of Chuck E. Cheese or Dave and Buster's. Oh, speaking of which, they're adding a Dave and Buster's in the Valley.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
We need to go.
there's this distinct game that me and Jonelle love to play where it's like you're trying to knock down like the clown faces.
Yeah.
That is like our game. We are amazing at that game. And so
I still need to teach Steven because I had me and Steven play the game. Do not get it.
yeah, we call it child gambling because you spend money for prizes.
Instead of trying to get more money. Because children don't necessarily care about money.
No, they're trying to get tickets and they always end up with like one ticket, two ticket. Like you're gambling in a sense. You're trying to win the jackpot of tickets, but you're not.
Yeah.
Wasting your money doing it.
Yeah.
Except you don't get money, so you can keep trying.
Percy, want to say anything else? Now he's silent.
Yeah, when this movie releases, we'll post some pictures on Instagram about like what it looked like with our little drive-in because we had like popcorn, s'mores. It was the whole thing.
Yeah. Honestly, next time we could do street tacos or something with my grill.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah. So I have like, we're going really off topic here, but you know, the way how we created to watch this movie was just so cool.
Well, it was nice that we did it this way because we lost out on the movie theater experience of being able to see The Lion King in theaters, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was released in theaters initially before we were even born.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to see it in theaters, but again, no movie theater offered a later time. Like, I'm off at 7 p.m. and I work every day this week. You're off at 3. Megan's off at 5:30.
I mean, I could have gone to the 421, blazing it. Anyways, I could have gone to the 421, but you know, it's not the same with your friends.
Yeah, like I remember one of the very first things me and you did together as friends was we went downtown and we watched Tangled in theaters because they did a special release and we found out day of. And we were like, "You're free? Yep. You free? Yep." And we went and watched Tangled in theaters. And it was 3D, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I do say we gotta watch The Little Mermaid outside
Oh, I agree.
because, like,
Agree.
this gave fishbowl vibes.
Yeah, so the fishbowl was basically the movie room of our dorm room, of our like dorm hall freshman year of college. Because it was like surrounded by glass, and so we just call it the fishbowl because people could like see it and look at us. But we used to set up my projector all the time, project it on the wall, and The Little Mermaid was like our go-to movie because we love that movie. It's great. Megan hates it, so I can't wait for when we have to watch it. But
I was gonna say, like, should we make fish tacos or something with fish?
fish tacos. We'll get goldfish crackers.
Okay.
I don't want fish tacos, sorry. Or we could maybe get like tuna fish sandwiches.
Go a little bougie, get a crab. melt some butter on the stove. Okay, but going kind of like more off topic about so I have this camping table where you can store food underneath it. And so now I just have our s'more making kit in there. And then I have like a little burner. And but that's how we were making the s'mores, was just roasting the marshmallows on
A little mini gas stove.
Yeah.
And we were safe. We did not cause any fires.
Yeah, the burner is a very controlled one.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know, this movie, I don't feel like I have a ton to talk about in this movie because it doesn't hit the same like other Disney movies. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel that strong of an emotional connection to that movie. Like I know a lot of people love this movie. And I love lots of parts. Like I love Hakuna Matata. Can You Feel the Love Tonight is a bopping song. You know.
It has a lot of great things, but it's not like, and there's a lot of like very hard topics in there, but they're not like topics you necessarily discuss.
Yeah, like when you talk about Beauty and the Beast, like there's so much we enjoy about that movie. You know, like we love Bella's dress, we love the songs, we love the artwork of the movie because it's gorgeous.
Well, I was also just gonna like mention, like, it's hard to talk about trauma when you're a trauma kid yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was watching the movie, when Nala was like, "You need to come back and be our king," it's just kind of like Simba is traumatized.
Agreed. Yeah.
And like maybe he doesn't want to be king now because of that trauma.
Well, and another thing though is just it really bothered me because Scar.
Don't worry, every time I watch the movies, I always thought instead of Scar, it was Scott.
Scar, when Simba goes back, and they're like, oh my god, Simba's alive. Scar's like, you need to tell them who killed Mufasa. And he's like, I did. But no one seems to remember when Mufasa died, he was a child. Like, he wasn't that old.
Yeah.
And so it makes you really want, like, it makes me upset because they're like, oh my god, tell me it's not true. You didn't kill him. It's like, wait, he was a cub. He couldn't have killed him.
And the fact that Simba had to face something like that at such a young age is just
scarring.
It's so traumatizing, and it really ruins your perception growing up.
Yeah, well, I mean, like in a number of ways. I mean, he went through two close encounters of literally being three encounters of almost being killed, two by hyenas, once in the stampede. Witnessed his father die and stuff. Being manipulated into thinking that he is the one who did it because someone didn't have the logic of, wait, Scar brought me to the gorge. Wait, Scar told me to roar.
He also didn't see Scar, let go of his father.
Yeah. And so it's like, poor Simba had no way of like trying to ease his mind. He was just in a huge state of denial about everything that happened. He shoved it down. And like it's just like, who is he? Like Nala called him out. You're not the Simba I knew. And yeah, trauma changes people. But it's one of those things where it's like, I think we can pull from Inside Out too, where it's like, yeah, your sense of self changes, but your core memories, like what makes you your core, stays the same.
Yeah.
Your sense of self may change, but your core is the same. And Simba was denying that.
I hate to say it, but I feel like Simba has avoidant personality disorder, like me.
No. No.
Well, for a little bit, he kind of did. Let's see.
He was told to be in exile. He went along with it.
Someone had to do research on this.
I don't know I don't know a ton about avoidant personality disorder. Because that doesn't seem like it.
According to
More of a PTSD response.
well, yeah, and well, a lot of avoiding also stems from depression and PTSD.
Yeah.
According to AI, they say he dealt with depression,
Which
but
makes sense.
there's got to be more.
Depression, probably some PTSD.
Helplessness, his dysphoria. Simba would be diagnosed with PTSD.
Can I tell you something really funny?
Yes.
So remember how when Zazu's telling Simba and Nala that they're betrothed,
hmm
and how Simba's like, "Well, when I'm king, that'll be the first thing to go,"
hmm
because he's still married Nala, so he admits it. Like, there is that connection. Like, yeah, they were betrothed and stuff. But in the second movie with his daughter Kiara,
hmm
she was never betrothed. So he actually kept his promise on it of like, I'm not making her marry anyone.
And according to Prezi.com, the diagnosis of Scar would be antisocial personality disorder,
Makes sense.
and Rafiki is schizophrenic, which
I have an issue with that because a lot of shaman type people, you know, often get characterized as schizophrenic, which isn't necessarily like I don't feel like that's okay.
yeah.
You know, shamans have a distinct historical and cultural.
Like, there's a reason why they do that. Honestly, when I was thinking of him, I was just like thinking of Moana when the mom's just, or the grandma's just like, I'm the village crazy lady.
I find it so like I told you this during the movie about how like we only hear one line where we actually hear Rafiki's name. But did you ever realize that we actually hear Sarabi, Simba's mom's name, way more often? But no one gives a shit about Sarabi. They always love Rafiki more, even though we only hear his name once, and they know Rafiki, but no one knows Sarabi.
Hmm.
I find it so funny.
It's interesting.
Like no one pays attention to Simba's mom, even though we hear the name so many times. But we only hear Rafiki once, now it sticks.
Honestly, I never paid attention to Rafiki until like
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah, this movie doesn't. It's a great movie. I won't lie. I prefer Lion King 1.5, but it's just not. I'm shooting myself in the foot on this one. Don't be mad at me, guys. I agree. As a movie, it is genuinely an S tier Disney movie. But for me personally, it's like a B tier.
Yeah.
Like it's a solid movie.
I prefer
Not up there.
I prefer watching like other things when it comes to like around the Lion King, like the musical, because they do so much more. Hi. Want to say something on it?
No,
No, I know he just wants out. You're so soft. Well, with that, I mean, I think
yeah, we don't have a lot to talk about. We didn't give her 2 cents.
I think we should give it like an A minus tier then, since it is like an S superior type movie, but we personally don't like it as much.
Well, that's what I'm like. It is an S tier Disney movie, but out of my personal everything, like my personal preference and everything, it lies on the B tier. Like my S tier are going to be a lot of my favorite movies: Mary Poppins, Pete's Dragon, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast. Those are like my S tier. S tier is like my favorite.
Your S tiers are so different than mine.
But like A tiers, like a lot of almost all the princess movies are A tiers for me. Hercules, I love. You know, Lion King is just not one of those kind of I'm gonna seek out watching it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'll watch it every once in a while, but it's not because I'm like,
Like we don't hate the movie.
yeah.
Great movie. It's just not one where we're gonna Not one we're gonna watch all that often. It's not one we're seeking out to watch.
Yeah, it's like one of those like, you know what? I'm in a mood.
Or I need to cry.
When you were talking about crying, I was literally about to like hop in and say, every time I watch Up, I cry.
Doesn't those first 5 minutes of Up are wrenching.
God, it's so sad. So sad. All right. Well, Percy, you want to say goodbye?
Tell us your favorite parts of The Lion King. Tell us why you rank this movie. Like, I know a lot of people love this movie. We've said our 2 cents.
Oh,
What are your... Okay, Percy. I know you don't want to say goodbye to people, but we got it.
what do you got to say about The Lion King?
Just, yeah, tell us what your thoughts are. Where does The Lion King rank for you? You know? And, okay, buddy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the Patreon. We're on Spotify.
Anywhere you listen to your podcast, we're there.
Yep.
If you want to see this adorable little cat,
Let us know.
well, watch it on YouTube.
Yes. If you want to see the cat, go on YouTube.
But if you want to see pictures of the cat in general, I can post those.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah.
He's curled up in a little ball in here.
Well, I think it's time we get going.
Yeah.
Bye, friends.
Bye. You want to say bye? Okay, nothing again.
So cooperative. And check out last week's episode on a live action versus animation Beauty and the Beast.